Hello and welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jamison Rabbit, and this week I'm joined by a man who appeared on the second season of Star Search. I believe it was in the spokesmodel competition, and his name is Mike Roth.
That is actually, I have no idea. That
Do you
was
remember
a really
your
bad
star score? Do you remember what you got?
That was a really bad year for me. I don't remember
One
much.
and one quarter stars. I remember it vividly.
Yeah, well, thank you for watching.
I'm a fan. That's all I can say is I'm a fan.
Was it the same year Sinbad won?
Oh, no.
Oh.
No. I believe you were in the Elaine Boozler year, but, you know.
Okay.
One of the classics. One of the classics. All right, Mike, we have a few movies on the marquee to get to this week. Summer movie season is on us.
Yes, it is.
We had our big Captain America, and now it is summer movie season. So let's get into it with our first movie on the marquee this week. And we have a movie called Neighbors 2.
Oh,
Sorority Rising. And it is the sequel of course, the first Neighbors movie, which came out a couple years ago. This one directed by Nicholas Stoller, starring, we've got Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne back as the couple who are living in the house. They chased out the fraternity led by Zac Efron and Dave Franco in the last movie. Now they're ready to sell their house. They've sold it. They're going into escrow. You're going to learn a lot about escrow in this movie.
Yep.
And if nothing goes wrong, they're going to sell this house and get on with their life with their two. She's pregnant with her second baby. Yep. Here we go. And now we've got a sorority that moves in next door.
No.
What? The girls want to form a sorority. They move in next door. Thus the title Sorority Rising.
Lucky for us, sororities cannot party. So it stays pretty quiet, right?
Oh, boy. These girls want to party. Led by Chloe Grace Moretz and Kiersey Clemens. They are trying to form a sorority. And our boy Zac Efron returns to the fold, seeking revenge on Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne. He sees his opportunity to gain revenge on them by mentoring the ladies in how to keep the house and throw proper parties and everything like that.
This is all supposed to be set. I felt like it was supposed to be set like 5 years later, but it wasn't.
I thought it would be like 2 years later.
Yeah.
Like actual time distance between the two.
Because they made it
Because the baby is growing a little older.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I judge things. Babies.
Babies are a good tell on how long things go.
And
unless you're that baby's Gary Coleman.
Oh no. It follows the path of the original pretty much, where the girls are going to throw parties. They got to find a way to make it stop, or the battle begins. Zac Efron shows up with his abs. He starts doing things. We also get Dave Franco back a little bit. There's a side story between these two. They're broing out. They're having a good time, but he's about to get married. But mostly it's a movie about equality among the sexes, right?
Somewhat, yeah.
But it really trivializes that.
It really does. I really thought they were kind of heavy-handing some of these moral messages of sexism and feminism and stuff like that. But at the same time, they counter it with, like, women in bikinis making out and sexy scenes and stuff like that. So it felt almost like that guy at a party that says all this racist stuff and then says, it's okay, I have black friends, or something
Right.
like that. It just does not feel right or comfortable.
Right. I liked, there were some good laughs in here for me. So Ike Barinholtz returns too as Seth Rogen's friend. And you see in the trailers, he shows up to one of the parties as creepy clown guy. And that clown pops up a couple different times in the movie, and it got me every time. It made me laugh out loud every time he shows up.
There was parts of this movie I enjoyed. Unfortunately, a lot of them were in the trailers for me. Because when I watched this trailer, I was like, you know what? I thought the other one was okay. This one looks like it's going to surpass it. And I really, the clown bit was great, but he's not a major character or anything.
No, he's the buddy.
And really, the movie still revolves around Seth Rogen, and I really don't care for his character.
Sure.
I wanted to see more of what the sorority girls were doing, or what
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron was doing.
Well, and they hinted at something, an interesting kind of subplot with him and Dave Franco and their story going on, and it was just kind of visited for a minute, and they would leave it alone. But then they would revisit it at awkward points of the movie. Like, it's kind of interesting. I liked, there's funny scenes. There's a scene in the garage between Zac Efron and Seth Rogen. They're locked in the garage. It's a funny bit between the two of them that I really enjoyed. of course, the movie hinges on the most worn-out trope of, we need to throw a party to save the house.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, we got to throw a party to save... Oh, it's every teen movie, college movie you've ever seen.
Well, also the same thing with all teenage college movie. They have that big joke that's supposed to be the grossest thing. Happened in American Pie, happened in a couple other ones where something about Mary, where there's that one gross scene because they advertise it. In this one, it was like, oh, let's try to beat the last one we just did 5 minutes ago.
But I didn't think this one was as raunchy as The First Neighbors. Rewatching The First Neighbors, that one was way raunchier. And I saw much less Seth Rogen flesh in this movie.
Well, that's always a plus.
Right.
But...
And I think because the first one was a bunch of dudes and things were going on, there were no, I'm going to say, quote-unquote, lightsaber fights in this movie as there were in the first one. And so I don't think it was quite as raunchy. I think it was just a watered-down script. And I think that, I love Chloe Moretz. I think she's great. I legitimately think she's a great actress. But she has not proven it in the last 4 years to me. There's no evidence that she knows what she's doing. She's a good actress. I know she is. I've seen her be a great actress.
Well,
but she just felt super awkward in this movie.
She's not getting the right roles. So.
She's making weird choices with what she's choosing. And this was not for her.
As far as I'm concerned, Seth Rogen, I don't think is a good director either.
Well,
I think he's kind of like...
He didn't direct this, but...
Oh, no, well, either way. I really don't think he brings people out. It's almost like they're his friends, and whatever he does, anybody does, it's okay. And so,
I like Kiersey Clemons. I think she was underused in this as the friend. I thought she could have gotten more. There's a great appearance by Kelsey Grammer in this movie that I loved.
Yeah.
I was like, Kelsey Grammer's here, and see you later, Kelsey.
That was it.
I don't know. I think it's a lesser version of the first one. I didn't think the first one was great. I went and rewatched. This was our second episode that we ever did, was The First Neighbors.
Yeah.
I went back and rewatched that. That was rough.
I was actually surprised on my score.
We both gave it 3 stars, and I stand by that. I think the first one is a 3-star movie. I think it's a little above average. This movie, a little below average. What did you ultimately give it?
I gave it a 1.5. The first, I'd say 20 minutes was just raunch after raunch after raunch, and it set me up to dislike pretty much the rest of the movie. It was hard for me to get out of that funk. I used to really like Seth Rogen, and every movie I see of him, it's just makes me feel a little less about him.
He's not very good. I'm just going to say that. He's not.
I bet as a human being, he's a nice person to talk with.
He is not a diverse actor at all.
No, he's not.
We saw him, of course, in Jobs, and he was decent in that. It was a smaller bit, but I'm not going to get into it.
I think sometimes he has a good idea on a joke. He just doesn't know how to get there, and he just
he doesn't know when to stop.
So show what I think is funny, and hopefully everybody laughs. Nope. It doesn't work that way.
I give it 2.5 stars. I think it's average. I did have some moments I laughed. I thought Zac Efron was actually saved a lot of parts of this movie. I thought he was pretty good as Teddy. So I gave it 2.5. It's meh. It's okay. Nothing special. Moving on, though, what do you have this week?
Well, I have something based on a video game. If you are a fan of Angry Birds like me, you are probably flocking to go see Angry Birds the movie.
Worked all week on that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Love it. I love it.
Basically, what we have is Jason Sudeikis plays Red. He's the main angry red bird that you get in the very famous Angry Birds app. And he has to go through anger management class, and he tries to warn everybody not to accept these pigs that come in, the green pigs from the game. They love bird eggs, and he's trying to say, hey, these guys, we don't know them. Let's be a little bit cautious about it. And he ends up being right. And him and his other bird buddies from the game all have to kind of save the day. It really stays true to the video game.
App.
Now, here's the problem with this app is the app really doesn't have a story at all. It's mainly a game where you take your finger and you put them in a slingshot.
My 3-year-old
and you shoot
plays
them.
this game successfully.
And they have everything in this. Right. They got the slingshot. They have trampolines. They have the pigs. They have
TNT.
eggs. They had to have an excuse to find every single bird with special powers in the app and throw it into this movie. It felt needless. It almost felt like they were trying to stay too true to a video game that doesn't have a story. But the voice acting was great. You
Yeah.
had Josh Gad as Chuck. You have Danny McBride as the Bomb. You have Bill Hader as Leonard
great.
or King Mudbeard or Chuckles. He was introduced as.
Bill
also.
Hader was phenomenal in this. He's a great voice actor.
I liked Peter Dinklage in this as the Eagle. It was
Mighty
really cool.
Eagle.
Yeah.
It took me a while to figure out whose voice that was.
Yeah, I didn't-
couldn't quite place it, and then it hit me.
I couldn't figure it out. How'd you like this movie, by the way?
Okay, so this is the first movie I think that I've seen that's based on an app. I did not see the Snapchat movie, but this movie, it was fine. There were some funny parts. I liked all the voice work. I thought that was great. My biggest complaint is that the movie, I felt, was aimed at an audience younger than me, which I thought was really interesting to me because I assumed because this is such a world-renowned app that everyone plays this game and all the variations of it, that they would try and aim for a more broad audience with it because your mom plays Angry Birds while she's sitting at the doctor's office, everyone. But it felt like they really lowered the bar on who they were aiming this for. There wasn't a lot of the subtle adult humor that you get with the great animated movies. That was kind of disappointing to me.
Well, I mean, it's Angry Birds. You've seen the app.
I
right?
understand,
Or it's a
but
game.
why? So why should you trivialize it though and say, well, let's just make it for 7-year-olds?
Well, it's a silly concept, and it's hard to take.
But
a
so
silly
is Shrek. So is a lot of movies are silly concepts, but you make them great.
True.
Wall-E is a weird concept, but it's a phenomenal movie because you aimed it, you do it right. And this movie it just felt like they went for everything that was obvious and easy and didn't try to do anything above and beyond at all.
And all these jokes were pretty much jokes you've heard in other ones. You're kind of relying that your audience is way too young to see any of these other movies that these jokes were hashed out.
Look, there was one thing in there. There was a Shining reference that was thrown in for a half a second. I was like, hey! Especially because we just talked about it last week. Oh, Shining. But for the most part, I thought it was fine. The story was fine. The animation was okay. It was decent. I was entertained.
Yeah.
I did not love it.
No. I don't think anyone above the age of 8 is going to say, wow, this is my favorite movie of all times. And most people that are above the age of 8, they've seen other movies. Anyone below, it's like, it's their first movie, so of course they're going to love it.
Yeah.
It is kind of cool if you are a fan of the game to see all your favorite birds and their little special powers. Do I think it makes a great movie? No. I think it passed the time just fine.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, I don't want to be too harsh on it because there were parts of it that I enjoyed, and I went with my 10-year-old son. He had a good time with it, and it was fine. But it's forgettable for the most part.
Yeah. Until they make the sequel.
Oh, I have no doubt to be a sequel. I only wish they had the rights still to the Star Wars Angry Birds, which is the superior version of the app.
I would assume the next one would be Bad Piggies, because that would be kind of the sequel. If anybody who has not played Angry Birds, pick it up, play it on your phone. I know you got a smartphone. Everybody does.
Sure. So ultimately, Angry Birds, I gave it 3 stars.
Wow.
Yeah, which sounds high considering what I've been saying about it.
Yeah, you sound very kind of lackluster
on the
about
fly,
it,
I'd
but you're
probably
giving
give
it it's an okay movie.
As we're reviewing it, I'm going, that's a 2.5-star movie, but I turned in 3 stars as my score, so I'm saying 3 stars. 3 stars.
Wow. Well, I'm giving it a 2.5. It really just passed the time. I wouldn't suggest it for any adults. If you do not have small children, don't go see this.
I probably agree on your score more than my own.
But if you have small children who love the app, I'm sure they will be excited. I did see a little kid there under the age of 8. He was dancing in the hallway, and he was fist pumping. And I saw the employees at Marcus Theaters going, "Did you like it, buddy?" And he's like, "Yay!" So that's the audience.
Very good.
You and me, not the audience.
Not so much. That's all right. There's other movies, though, that might be for us. And I'm talking about the last movie we have on the marquee this week, The Nice Guys.
Don't take your kids.
From director Shane Black. It stars Russell Crowe, Ryan Gosling as... Russell Crowe is kind of a tough guy. That he's a guy who can get things done, basically. He takes care of things.
With his fists.
Right. Ryan Gosling is a PI, a struggling PI, kind of bumbling. I like that he wasn't the cool private investigator that you'd expect Ryan Gosling to be.
Yeah.
The movie is set in 1977 in L.A., and it's basically an aging porn actress has gone missing, has presumed dead.
Misty Mountains.
Misty Mountains. A really weird opening to this movie, by the way.
Oh,
that
yeah.
I don't quite get, but it really threw me off, and I was waiting for that to come full circle. But basically, it turns into this big chase as everyone is looking for a girl named Amelia. Mm-hmm. Amelia has the answers. Everyone needs Amelia for different reasons. Good guys, bad guys, nice guys, huh? And at first, these two guys are at odds. Russell Crowe, Ryan Gosling are at odds. They soon come together and make this pairing and searching for answers, basically. Both of them are looking for answers to different questions. Mm-hmm. And you have Ryan Gosling's daughter, played by Andrea Rice, who, Holly, who kind of stole scenes in this movie, left and right.
She was really good, I thought.
An actress I haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. And it was an enjoyable movie to me. It had a nice noirish feel at points.
Yep.
But it also had...
like almost any private detective movie made in L.A. Yeah.
It felt really true to its time of the 1970s. It felt very, very right in the period. Authentic.
Russell Crowe's jackets just kind of made it for me. He just wears these tight pleather jackets everywhere he goes.
Russell Crowe has been very hit and miss for me recently.
Yeah.
He's made some really weird decisions with his career. Mm-hmm. I thought this was perfect for him. Perfect for him.
Yeah.
Because he still has this underlying, he's put on a few pounds and he's done some different things, but he still has the underlying tough guy image from the 90s. He was the gladiator. Yeah. He still is a tough guy underneath. And he has done a movie in this noir style with L.A. Confidential, also with Kim Basinger, who's in this movie.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a nice little thing. It felt good. And he and Ryan Gosling, as they're together, their chemistry was hilarious.
I would say the only one I really didn't like in this movie was Kim Basinger. I felt like
she was a little rough.
She has a little role, and she is actually a major part. But the way she acted this movie told what the ending was. And I don't want to do that to you guys.
She did foretell a little much with the way she played it.
Just how she acts. And it's like, I wanted to be more surprised. I think they wanted Kim Basinger in there so we could get those retro feelings and stuff like that. But they should have gone without.
It's, you know what? There was really solid dark humor in this movie.
Yeah.
Really, unexpectedly funny.
And quirky, too. There's a lot of scenes in this that I will always remember. I would love to tell the audience some of my favorite quotes. I cannot do it.
Right. The thing I really enjoyed was there was a lot of unexpected physical comedy in this movie, especially from Ryan Gosling's character. A lot of physical comedy out of him. Mm-hmm. And mixed in with really well-done action, with good drama. There was so much going on. You didn't know what was coming next, though.
No.
That's what it was just so much insanity going on. You didn't know what was coming next.
The only time I thought there was a lull in this movie was at the end. When it was constant action, that's when I wanted it to slow down. I really liked how they acted. I wanted to see more of that, and there was a point in the movie where it just seemed it was constant fisticuffs.
So that is my one main complaint with this movie is the end of it. Mm-hmm. I wish they would have toned down the kind of cartoonish elements at the end. There was a lot of chasing something down the street and it's bouncing hand to hand.
Yeah.
It felt really kind of cartoonish to me. I wish it would have been toned down because I was enjoying everything that was going on so much. Mm-hmm. I like the bad guys. I love Keith David, and he shows up as the tough guy. There's a lot of good bad guys, kind of interesting. Blueface. Really interesting bad guys in this. Shane Black is, I think, one of my favorite writers and directors when it comes to action with infused with a weird humor in it, like with the Lethal Weapon movies, with Last Action Hero, Last Boy Scout. And this, I think, was really reminiscent of one of his best movies, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, another really kind of weird movie of action and comedy and such.
But he also did Iron Man 3, right?
He did Iron Man 3. I think that's the outlier in his career, though, for me.
Okay.
I mean, when you talk about doing all the Lethal Weapons and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and all these movies.
Well, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, he directed, right?
He wrote and directed.
And he also wrote and directed Iron Man 3,
correct?
So that's what I based it on, because the other ones he wrote, but he didn't direct. So I was a little hesitant on getting into this, because
I like it.
I mean, Iron Man 3 is good. And I like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but I
love that movie.
I didn't know what to expect. Man, I really did. This movie blew me away, except for that little scene in the end. And honest, all the acting in here is so spot on. I can't say that enough.
It really is. I could have watched those two guys together. It feels like you could make this into a series now. Make this into a franchise for me. I'd love to see these two together. Make this a new Lethal Weapon type series set in the 70s.
I love how Ryan Gosling screams.
Yeah, oh, it's great.
And I know it's been done in other movies, but when you hear that high-pitched shrill just, oh, I laugh every single time.
I say make it, they form a detective agency with the daughter Holly is the receptionist, and I'm in. Yeah. I'm buying tickets all day long.
It'll be the new Moonlighting.
That's a great show right there.
That was.
So I think we kind of agree on really enjoying this movie. What did you end up giving the movie?
I gave it a 4. I would have given it higher, but like I said, the action scene at the end was my lull, and Kim Basinger was kind of spoiled the ending for me just through her bad acting.
I am 100% spot on with you. Same things. I gave it 4 stars. Same issue. I wish the ending would have been cleaned up a little better. I like the look of the dark underbelly of everything. I like the bad guys. I loved everything else in it. It's Kim Basinger, and it's that cartoonish slapstick ending that you can just take off for me and make this it's a 4.5-star movie easily.
I'm a sucker for those LA noir movies too. We just had one a little while ago, and I believe I gave that one amazing review also.
Yeah, really good. Really good. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I was hoping for good things, and it was actually better than I was hoping for. So that's pretty great.
That's the way it should be a sequel.
I agree. All right, so let's take a look back real quick. We have time for a little movie throwback, sir. Based off Angry Birds. Let's throw off Angry Birds this week. To 1963.
Can you think of a movie about some angry birds? Like all sorts of birds just being really angry. I know you love birds, man.
Let's talk about The Birds. Alfred Hitchcock's classic, The Birds. Starring Tippi Hedren, Rod Taylor, Suzanne Pleshette, and Jessica Tandy.
We're talking about the 1963 one, not the 1994 one. That one is not a true sequel, by the way, guys.
So, The Birds, man. I rewatched this. If you don't know, I have a very real, very authentic, and I understand that it's insane. I have a very real fear of birds.
You came out with it to our audience last week, and for some reason, I think sadistically, I was like, we have to do The Birds.
And it actually made
sense.
sense.
It terrified me when I was a kid, and you actually have a phobia about it.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
Look, Alfred Hitchcock is my favorite director of all time. I love it. This movie is a classic. I've watched this a few times in different film classes and such, and it terrifies me. Rewatching it recently, this is the first time probably in maybe 20 years that I've watched it. The effects are rough.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, there are moments. As Tippi Hedren is out there trying to track down Rod Taylor, Mitch, a torrid love affair.
With the love birds.
With her love birds. And birds just start attacking. Yeah. Birds just kind of start nipping at people and swarming down. And there's a scene outside of a schoolhouse where all the children are running and the birds are attacking. I caught myself yelling out as I'm watching it. Like, oh no!
This movie kept me from watching TV for a good month because when it was on television, they would have advertisements. And as a kid, I was terrified of the scene where the birds grab that person and he's being rubbed up against a telephone booth. It gave me chills, and they played it over and over again. So Mike didn't watch cartoons for a good 3 weeks because I needed to make sure I couldn't see that commercial again. When I became older, I watched it and fell in love with Hitchcock. This isn't his only great film, of course.
And I don't even think it's one of his best, actually.
No, but it's probably his most well-known. If you ask people randomly on the street
you're gonna get
movies,
Psycho.
You're going to get, Psycho? Yeah.
Ooh. You're going to get Psycho. But The Birds, technically, I don't think it's one of his best. I think he's done much better technically well-done movies. And this is one of the few movies that really shows you the bad guy and shows you the things. Maybe that's what got to me as a youngin'. But it's a good movie. It's a well-done movie.
It is a good movie, and they foreshadow in a way, and I don't think Alfred Hitchcock ever really planned on it, but there could have been a sequel. This problem doesn't resolve. And in 94, they came out with The Birds 2. Everybody said, don't do it, and they said, we're going to do it.
What I needed is birds with better effects, more realistic look. I don't need that.
It didn't. It was terrible. It went directly to TV. The effects were worse. It went Michael Bay where they were exploding in the air as people are shooting them. And you put in Tippi Hedren again, but it wasn't the same character. And no one in the town remembered the events of the first one, so technically it was a
30
reboot,
years.
but they tried to spin it off as a sequel to the audience before they were suckered into it. Don't ever watch that.
Look, I enjoy this movie. I think Tippi Hedren was great in this movie. I'll probably not watch this movie again. I think I'm good now. This is like my 4th or 5th time. I think I'm good.
I understand.
I don't need to face that fear anymore.
That's totally cool.
I'm sitting here just grinding my hands as we're talking about it. But yeah, The Birds. You can go see it if you like.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How about we think about something else for a while?
Let's do that. Let's look ahead at what will be coming out later on this month. We've got 3 movies coming out. The first one is called Me Before You, starring Emilia Clarke and Sam Claflin. Little romantic movie about a man who is paralyzed, I believe,
Yes.
and his love will not leave him.
This does not look like a good movie to me.
Not your cup of tea.
No, it's like a
We'll
Sparks
see.
movie,
But you
right?
like Emilia Clarke.
Doesn't that? Oh no, I don't know.
You love Game of Thrones. I'm sure this is just the same.
I don't think so.
Come on. All right, the second movie we have is called Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping, from the Lonely Island Boys and Andy Samberg and crew, about a pop star who's just a total idiot.
Yeah, surrounded by yes men. They have a little catch song in the background that I've been singing all week.
Have you?
Yeah.
Get a job. All right. The last movie we have is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's part 2.
Yeah, poke out my
There's
eye.
a second one coming out based off the... You know what? The first one I wanted to hate, and I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as I was expecting. I got totally open. I have no qualms about seeing this.
And really,
Hopefully it's better than I think it's going to be.
It's produced by Michael Bay, and everybody knows my
Affinity
my
towards him?
feelings
Yep.
towards him.
You love him?
But it's not directed by him. So
Right.
usually
You get Bebop, you get Rocksteady. The movie actually looks more like the show than any of them. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles.
Whatever.
Not my thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll
we
see.
will see. So that'll be coming out. Of course, we want to thank our sponsor, Marcus Theaters, here in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. The Palace. Thank you for sponsoring our show. Thank you for Dream Loungers.
Check out their new menu items. Huge pretzel.
Oh, if you just want to go and get 16 pieces of bacon, you can.
Oh, nice.
They'll give them to you.
And with different dipping sauces and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh.
I like bacon. There's no
Who
doubt about
doesn't?
it. If you want to find more from us, you can follow us on Facebook. Just search Real Reviews TV. That's where we're at. I fell asleep for a second.
That's all right.
Or on Twitter, you can follow us at Real Reviews TV. You can find more from us and every other show that you get here on KSUN by going on to ksun.tv. Everything's on demand for your viewing pleasure.
If you feel like talking to us on Facebook, we're there. We'll talk right back.
Oh,
We're
I'll
nice
talk
guys.
right back to you.
We're real nice guys.
You bet. Just let us know what you think. But until next week, what are we talking about?
We got X-Men, which is a
X-Men
pretty huge
Apocalypse.
movie, and we got Alice.
Through the Looking Glass.
And I'm looking forward to that.
Are you really?
I'm looking forward to both these movies.
Quickly, we have 1 minute. What did you think of the first Alice movie?
I really didn't like it, but I rewatched it anyways last night.
Did you?
I like Tim Burton. I know we are different in this category.
We are.
Tim Burton is my man, and
Tim Burton is my man. That's going on your headstone.
You can't say anything bad about him.
Tim Burton is my man. That's on Mike's headstone. Then I scratch it out and put Michael Bay.
Hey, did you like the barber with the meat pies and you didn't
Name that
even-
movie. Michael Roth.
Sweeney
Name that
Todd.
movie. There you
Sweeney
go.
Todd.
Attaboy. It was all right. It was all right.
Ah,
I'm looking forward to both these movies. We'll see. I think they both
here.
might stink, but
they might, but
We'll
I
find
hope-
out
I'm
next
going in
week.
high hopes.
right here on Real Reviews. Enough babbling. My name is Jamison.
I'm Mike Roth.
Thanks for watching.